Are any of you out there really excited for the new season of Rings of Power? I know a lot of YouTubers and a lot of people out there are complaining about the Tolkien violations and the canon violations of this fantastic franchise. This new season of Rings of Power gives you more of a feeling of a Peter Jackson movie, like they're really trying to rip it off. But you can't ignore the fact that the first season was a complete train wreck with characters that just were not interesting at all. So the real question here is this going to be a continuation of the boring episodes we had from the first season, or have they learned their lesson and are going to try and improve things for the viewing audience? How's it going out there, everyone? W.F.S. here, and Rings of Power Season 2 is only a couple of days away. I know you're excited for it, right? All right, so this is coming from Cosmic Book News. Rings of Power Season 2 showrunners ignore fans' feedback, despite the fact that over a year ago, there was an article out claiming that Rings of Power, the showrunners had learned and were trying to make the show more enjoyable for all the fans who were questioning the validity of Rings of Power and whether or not it really was honoring Tolkien. Despite a 67% of the fans dropping out before finishing Season 1, showrunners of the Rings of Power are pressing on without addressing fan concerns. Ooh, well, this ought to be interesting. Now, the trailer clips that we saw, that definitely does imply that they are trying to make it more dark, more like the Lord of the Rings trilogy. And I don't know. The trailer does have some interesting things about it, and if you listen to other YouTubers, they're still going on about the idea that their characters are in places and points in time that they shouldn't be in. Now, I really don't know Tolkien lore. My knowledge of this happens to go from the animated film The Hobbit, and then of course Peter Jackson's trilogies, The Lord of the Rings, and then The Hobbit. And of course, I can't count Rings of Power as being a knowledgeable source of material because, again, everyone that I have heard from claims that the first season of Rings of Power was a complete violation of Tolkien law. But let's get into the article here and we'll see what they're talking about. It seems it will be more of the same thing for Amazon Prime Video. The Rings of Power Season 2, unfortunately, that's not a good thing. Fans weren't happy with Season 1, which was evident for the viewership plummeted. While the first 2 episodes scored record ratings for Amazon, it has been reported that only 37% of those fans finished watching the series. So that means that 63% of fans stopped watching. The Rotten Tomato audience score is also at only 38%. Boom, that is so bad. The showrunners revealed that they didn't bother listening to the fans and kept with the original story and writing that was written before the release of Season 1, which again contradicts a lot of articles that came out maybe about, I'm going back to a year. They claimed that they were listening to the fans and they were going to make changes. Much of Season 2 was written before the release of Season 1, so we've got a plan and we're sticking to it. We read everything. It's impossible not to want to listen and not to want to engage with people. And if people like the show, they can feel pretty good sometimes. But at the end of the day, we're making the show that we believe in. My friend, you say you believe in it, but as I said before, you had 100% of your viewers at the beginning of Season 1, the first 2 episodes. And then by the end of that, 63% dropped off. And you still think you believe in this. There's something wrong. Unless, of course, you think you can pull a rabbit out of your hat with Season 2. Okay, I love this part here. This is coming from the co-showrunner Payne, who says, and if they don't like the show, then sometimes people are. He pauses for a moment and discards the sentence. It's interesting to see what people have to say. We've been working on this for a long time. We've got a plan, and Tolkien had a plan. We're excited to see it all the way through. Again, this is the part I love. We've got a plan, And Tolkien had a plan. So basically, from the reading of that sentence, yeah, Tolkien had a plan. It's all ironed out. It's all written out in those books. But our plan is better. So he's gone. We're going to do what we want. So have a nice day. So let's be honest about this. The statements that the man makes, that the showrunners make here, question whether they actually do care about the fans. We wrote it out. Yeah, I know you wrote it out. And then by the second episode in the first season, when the fans started dropping away, that should have been a clear sign to you right there that something is wrong. And maybe you'll look at season 2 and see if there's some things you can change to make the fans want to come back. But that's not what you did. You chose to go ahead with your plan, which so far has been a dreadful failure. But as I said before, maybe you're going to pull a rabbit out of your hat and the fans will come back wanting more of it. There is so much hatred out there for this show, and I am just curious. Are you interested in watching it? Are you going to watch it just to see where it goes? Or do you like the show enough to really love it to come back for more? I would love to hear your thoughts and comments on this. Is Rings of Power going to be on your watch list this season? Drop your comments below and let me know. Until the next time, my friends, God bless.